We're having a discussion of what it's like to care for someone, especially someone you love, who has Alzheimer's. And joining me in studio is Shelly Calcagno, who's the author of the book, The Longest Goodbye. And again, Shelly, congratulations on this book. You're Canadian. It's beautiful that we have a Canadian perspective on this. We were discussing before the break your mother and those early first signs. So perhaps for our viewers who might want to kind of keep on the lookout if they had a family member who they might suspect might be experiencing dementia or, in your case, Alzheimer's, how and when did you notice something was off with your mother? What were those early signs?
Yeah, in the beginning, it was just really forgetting the simple things. The first chapter of my book is called Yellow Flowers, and it's about one spring when we were at my parents' cottage, and my mom was, there was dandelion flowers all over the front lawn, and she was trying to talk about them, and she couldn't remember what they were called, so she called them yellow flowers, like she couldn't get her words out. And that was the first indication, my brother had, that he thought that was kind of strange, like, maybe something's not right. And then probably the year after that, there were just different things, like I would go to the mall with her and she wouldn't be able to count out her money, or she couldn't find her debit card, or one day we got lost, she couldn't find her car in the parking lot. So it's just those little things at the beginning, in which, everyone experiences memory loss at some capacity. I forget things every day myself.
Sure, we're all juggling so much, and like, darn, what row did I park in the mall, and things like that.
Yeah, but it was just kind of, then it started just to kind of like pile up, and it just seemed to be more and more of those things happening. So for that, those were the first signs for us. And knowing the family history as well, we were more in tune to that. Maybe that was what was happening with her.
And I know we touched upon this in the previous segment, but sometimes when one sees those signs, you kind of put up an emotional protective barrier, almost like a denial, like, no, I'm not seeing that, because one doesn't want to face potentially what they could be facing.
Yeah.
How do you process that? How do you go from observing something and probably denying it internally to then saying, you know what, no, we have to address this? How do those emotions work?
Yeah, that was a really hard journey for us. I have two brothers, and then my dad. So I'm the girl in the family, and probably the more feeling, more emotional in this situation. So I completely shut down at the beginning, and I didn't know how to talk to them. I don't think they knew how to talk about it. We just really didn't know what to do. And so finally my siblings and I decided, we have to talk to our dad about this. We hadn't even brought it up to our dad. We didn't even want to say the words out loud to him. So, we just had to really, at some point, just be brave and just face what was happening. I remember we set up a meeting with our local Alzheimer's society that, none of us were ready to go to. We hadn't even really talked, but we went. It was really early. But we just tried to get those things in place in the beginning, even though it was really hard, I feel like we were probably 4 or 5 years into it before we could start actually
really
having like honest conversations with each other about what things were going to look like. It was just really hard. It was just really hard to talk about.
No, but I can understand that because it's painful. Yeah. It's emotionally painful. And there are a lot of decisions that factor into caring with someone with Alzheimer's. And some of those decisions one doesn't ever want to have to make. For example, we just came, hopefully we're on the other side of COVID now. We just came through that. And we saw a lot of the struggles with not being able to visit our loved ones in LTCs, for those who had family in LTCs. That always seems to be a very heavy and a very big question. Obviously, it's challenging to care for someone with advanced stages in Alzheimer's. How does one make the decision? What factors into making that decision, saying, okay, you know what, I don't know if I can manage this way any longer. We might have to look into help.
Yeah. I think that's a key thing, I believe now. Anyone who comes and talks to me now that they're starting this path, I say, you need to get, in the early stages, get things in place for help. With us, it started early with making connections with the Alzheimer's Society. And then, we convinced my dad that, you need a mental break. He's an incredible caregiver to my mother, like just incredible, but you only have so much capacity. So, in the beginning, it was just, okay, why don't we get someone to come in, 2 days a week, just for 2 hours, just to give you a break. And so you kind of you start small and just getting that help in the beginning. And then I think once you're able to accept help and you realize the situation a bit more, as things progress, then you realize there's this progression of, okay, now I need more help. Now I remember we came to the point where, my father did everything imaginable to help my mom, but it came to the point where, she needs more care than she can have at home. So those are hard decisions, but I feel like they progress once things get in place, once you have that support. So,
Right.
the Alzheimer Society for us was key. And there was just a lot of really great people that helped us along that journey, making those decisions.